Stock tip. Best stock setups.
Hi, I'm Marcel from StockTip, and this is the latest daily update. So this day wasn't as volatile as the last few days. We didn't see that much horror on the markets. So we pretty much were in the same range the whole day, and even though I thought as soon as we leave 3,730 that the market would start falling parabolically, that didn't happen today, and I think it's safe to presume that the market wants to wait for the next Fed hike decision. As I've heard, it's pretty safe to presume that a rate hike of 0.75 would be by this time already priced in. I guess we have to wait and see what happens. If this is true and we get a Fed hike like we did last quarter or last month, respectively in 0.5, we might just see a jump in the markets. But I'm pretty much a fan of technical analysis, and as I look at it, I see that our target has still not been reached. I still think we might just hit the 200 EMA, and this still hasn't happened now. That's why I don't know. I'm not that convinced. So I'm pretty much convinced that the technical analysis is a bit more outspoken than any macroeconomical factors. So the Nasdaq is also looking pretty much the same, so it's still hovering just above this or just in the range of the 200 EMA, and the IVM I won't be looking at it at this time. Also the DAX pretty beaten up, but it's still at the same resistance point, support point here. The oil finally with a bit of a negative day or negative week. No, this is the false one here, with a bit of a negative day today. So it stopped growing for the first time in a while. Gold and silver still in the negative, and pretty much nothing much happened here. So what is the action going to be? Well, I don't know. On Wednesday, we're going to get the next Fed rate hike, and I think we're pretty much all dependent on it. If we get surprised, then I think the next rally might just start, and this might be the last sell-off. But if the naysayers are right, and we get a rate hike of 0.75, then we might just go a bit further down and reach 3,600, 3,500 in the S&P 500. So who's to say? We just have to wait and see. These are the two possible scenarios, and I think it's pretty safe to stay for the most part in cash and wait and see what's going to happen. And if we get the first clear signs, then we might just change our position here and start going long again. Where do you start going long? So I think as soon as we get the next gap attack here, and gap close, then that would be the first position to start going long. So I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it just yet, so I would definitely wait for a gap attack here and for a gap close, or for a gap close before going long. That's my take on it. Yesterday I also had a bit more time than usually, and I also tried my luck at a couple of day trades. So AERC hasn't performed that well for me. I've tried it here. I think this is the point where I've tried it. This point here is where I got long, and I've set my this point here is where I got long, and I set my stop at 3.5, and it performed pretty good the day before, but And now I pretty much got closed, and I just waited to see what was going to happen, and I'm pretty much ready for the next jump in, but I am only going to jump in as soon as we breach this resistance line in the 4-hour time frame. So this is the plan. Then I'm going to be going a bit aggressively here, but until then I'm just going to sit on the side bench and watch. My successful day trade was in Sim. Actually, I didn't have to do much. Where is it? So it's in Sim. I didn't have to do much at all. So my entry was 14.26, or my stop buy was at 14.26, and guess what? That happened. And in the last 15 or 30 minutes of trading, I think in the 30-minute chart, I think this was the 13-minute chart, so it doesn't matter pretty much. In the last 30 minutes of trading, I went from 14.26, didn't manage to quite get that, to 16, and I've closed my trade at 15.9. So yes, this was a very good trade, but this was more like a scalping. I didn't want to leave my position overnight. If you take a look at the daily chart, it's you don't understand anything, but it was the perfect setup for a day trade, for a late day trade. You can see here this horizontal setup from here all the way to here. It was the perfect setup, and yeah, so that's what I'm looking for when I'm doing a late day trade. And of course I'm doing it in the 30 or the 50 minutes time frame. So this trade was fantastic, and I was actually preparing for another go, and this was another go, and if I get this one, then I would also leave it as a day trade, as a swing position. Well, I was preparing for it, and my stop buy was at 6.65. This point was actually reached here. You can see the high was 6.65, but my position didn't get filled. I think this was just a minimal buy. My position didn't get filled, and as such, I wasn't invested here. But this looks fantastic in the daily chart and in the weekly chart. So this is GLOP, which has been on my watch list for a long time, and yesterday I was surprised to see it also on the day trade search tab here, because of a 10% increase and volume increase. So that's why I love it. So this was and finally a breakout pullback, and now it looks like a breakout pullback, and or pullback breakout, and it might just finally turn to something. And if you take a look at the daily chart, I think the next level would be 10 here, the gap fill. So we have a lot of momentum on our side, we have a lot of potential here, and I'm very positive about this trade if it's going to start. So if it's going to start, then I would place my again, I would place my stop buy at 6.7 and my stop sell at 6.3, and that's it. A very tight, very tight stop, and the potential is huge, because like I said, our gap fill would be here 10, and I think we are going to reach it in the first phase. Definitely a nice setup with a nice position here. Okay, that's all for today, and let's see how the things are going to perform tomorrow. Bye now.